never knows how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're Oreo cookie, white in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro, I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I would slap you.
Go ahead, make my day.
Black at the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. I want to say that last week, and maybe the week before now, when Cliven Bundy came out and said what he said about black Americans and the cotton field and slavery. We've all heard it now. And he talked about Hispanics, even illegal aliens. And once it was reported that he had said those things, the conservative Christians and others who were supporting him jumped ship. They were supporting Mr. Bundy during the period when the government went in, the federal government went in and tried to take the man's land away from him. The militia groups and others joined in with Mr. Bundy and ran the federal government off. It was reported, and he was supported by the conservative media, which was a good thing and the right thing to do. Then Mr. Bundy commented on black Americans, their situation, and the liberal media took a portion of that and because he said something about slavery and picking cotton and how black Americans, he wondered, Mr. Bundy wondered if black Americans were better off doing slavery and picking cotton and things like that because their families were together. Their boys and girls were not going to jail and having abortions. They had things to do. Or are they worse off under the slavery of the government, enslavement by the government? Now they have nothing to do. They sit around. Their boys and girls are going to prisons and jails around the country. They're having abortions. And he was just wondering out loud, were they better off with one slavery as opposed to another one? And right away, his support, the Christians, reporters abandoned him. And I say that media, the conservative media, more so than regular folks, because there are a lot of regular folks who are bagging Mr. Bundy. They have not abandoned him. And I have to say, when that happened to Mr. Bundy, it was one of the saddest days in my entire life. It really was. I saw nothing or heard nothing that Mr. Bundy said that implied or indicated that he was a racist. Not one iota of a word. I've said before and I'll say it again, I grew up picking cotton, planting peanuts and sweet potatoes and those things and bringing in to harvest. I had to drop out of school certain times a year to do that. My grandparents and my parents and my cousins and other members of my family worked the cotton fields and things like that. We did not rely on the government, and we grew up under the Jim Crow laws. We did not rely on the government. We didn't blame anyone for our situation. But we had family. We had the church. We had family. Grandpa was around. I call him Dad. Was around. My granddad. My grandmother was around. My mother and father moved to Indiana, but I had a truckload of other family members around. My family members were not, no one else that I grew up with were not going to jail. They were not stealing and killing folks, and they were not beating up white people. They were going to school, and they were working, and they felt pretty good about themselves as a result of being productive. So during those days, it was better in that area, those areas, as opposed to today, when you have black Americans, not all but most, relying on the government. Relying on the government. Kids are born out of wedlock, 73% of them. Born out of wedlock. The mothers are relying on the government to take care of their children, raise their children for them. These kids are violent. They're in the streets. They're going to jail. Black-on-black crime is out of control in most of the major areas. Abortion, according to BlackGenocide.com, over 1,800 black babies are aborted every day. When I was growing up, it wasn't heard of. Out of wedlock birth was less than 10%. You decide which were better for black people, picking cotton or doing nothing. And how is that racist? Because Mr. Bundy said it. A white man said it, old-timer from the old school. He wasn't making up something. He spoke the truth about the situation. In my opinion, he showed love for black people as he did for the Hispanics. And he was abandoned. He was called racist. The man, Mr. Bundy, doesn't even understand why he was called racist. He doesn't even understand. He can't believe that he was called racist. Because in his heart, he wasn't being racist. It saddened me to see that happen to him, because what I realized from that is that the folks who are on the side of good, the folks who say that they believe in God, have no backbone. They are on the run. They are on the run. They are living on the edge. The liberals have successfully intimidated them with fear of being called racist. Now the folks who are on the side of good are afraid of losing material things. They don't want to be called racist because they may lose something physical. Where's your faith in God? Which do you love most? The love of God, the truth, or material things of the world? It looks to me that the children, at least some of them who are supposed to be loving God, love material things more than they love God. And the liberals have successfully organized, and they have Christians on the run, especially white Christians, and especially those who are in the media. They're on the run. I've never imagined that I would see that in my country. This is a battle between good and evil. It's not about color. It's not about culture. It's about good versus evil, and liberals are represented evil. They are trying to win the souls of our children and of America. They want to destroy that. And they have one word that they are now using to intimidate. I'm saddened by it. I almost don't know what to do with myself. It seems as though the battle is over. People that I trust and love jump ship, and I was shocked. And now we have the situation with the L.A. Clipper owner, Donald Sterling. He has been now called racist, and anyone with any good common sense, if you listen to the recordings, you can see that there's much more going on than what is being said. This man is having a fight with his 20-something-year-old girlfriend. She has set him up. She's leading the questions. He is being recorded without even knowing about it. Is that right? Something got to be wrong with this woman for doing that. But all of the race hustlers have come out of the woodwork and jumped on this situation. We have some of those sound bites for you. I'm going to take your phone calls at 888-77-53773.